Hello, this is Daisy Joy from Adventure Acres Homestead and Mr. Adventure, and we are very excited this week to actually do a video for once because we have new additions to Adventure Acres. Exciting new additions. A bunch of them. Second. Is it? Let the excitement begin! Oh, look! Oh! Oh, Wheatley! Oh, you've got little... Oh, look at you! Oh, bring baby in here. That'll settle Mama's good. Oh, you want to go get another one? Oh, hey there! This one is adorable. I love her frosted ears. Rocky! The other one.
Yeah, they'll be a lot tamer in a short period of time.
Because they need it. Oh.
We didn't paint. So
There's hay in there.
Not necessarily. They got
oh yeah, here's that.
to go.
You want to help Debbie?
Knock the whole thing off. Wait, give it a big rip. Just don't let any of those people grab them. Hide them somewhere where they can't.
Look at your ears.
We have goats.
We have goats. We decided to move our video inside because it was windy and we didn't want to talk over the wind. All right, so we have goats. We're super excited.
What kind of goats are they?
We aren't sure of all of the particulars. They are mixed breed goats.
Moats?
Moats.
Would that be moats?
Yeah, there are Matcha and Maple are the mamas. And Matcha's definitely La Mancha because you can tell by the ears. Remember, come from underneath. Yeah. I mean, like, she's the most social, I would say. And
I think she's the most hungry.
yeah. Let's see. Matcha and Maple are the adults.
Uh-oh, no,
Maple.
No.
Our younger daughter, named the Doeling, who is Buttercup. Look at your ears. And then we have the 3 little fellers, and they will be Weathers. So they'll get to all live together. Each of the kids got to name a goat. And so our oldest daughter named hers Wheatley. Hey, Wheatley. How's it going? And he's one of the little boys. And our son actually sort of named 2. He named the first one Russell. Which, that is like a victory in and of itself. As the kid would not eat vegetables for the longest time. He named his goat Brussel after Brussels sprouts, his favorite vegetable. And so I thought that was awesome. Daddy makes really good Brussels sprouts. And so he tried them and he decided that, hey, I really do like vegetables. And then he was talking about the other goat, which is kind of has a bit of a similar look to it because they're both white with darker coloration on their heads. And he asked if we could name it after his second favorite vegetable, which is broccoli. I'm just looking at your baby. So it's Brussels and Brock, and they're kind of going to be a pair.
I haven't quite figured out which ones are which yet. I've spent too much time building fence, putting things together, and such to really get the names down yet.
Yeah. He's all about the practical applications, and now we're to the fun part. So
I think matcha. I know which one's matcha and maple. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, sure.
The little ones are just too cute to really to pay any attention to the names. I mean, why do you need names for cute little goats?
They
do a lot of frolicking.
They're so cute when they frolic.
I'll fly you. They're cute.
It is cute. We had talked about goats a very long time ago. We're talking about 15 years ago. We were living in Japan at the time, and we were at kind of a crossroads. My husband was in the United States Navy, and we were stationed in Yokosuka, Japan. And we had 2 paths that were very different. They had started a new program called the Seaman to Admiral program. And he would have gone career Navy, and we would have moved around all over the world and had all sorts of interesting, exciting adventures in the Navy lifestyle. But we had just had our first child, our oldest daughter. And after having her, we were thinking of family back home and the area where we grew up and where we met, and be a part of a rural community and have that sort of an experience. And kicking off our family, we started thinking about what it was like when we were growing up, and especially being around grandparents and aunts and uncles and cousins and things like that. That was really enticing. As fun as the adventure of being a military household would have been, and it was really cool and we really enjoyed it. One of the things that we really wanted to do was to give them the sort of experiences that we had when we first met. We not only wanted to move back to Iowa, but we wanted to have a homestead, just a small hobby farm kind of, that was back before the homesteading was the popular term, a hobby farm where we could have some livestock and a place for the kids to run around and have fun like we used to do when we were younger. So when we moved back from Japan, we started looking at homesteads right away. And but my husband was getting ready to start college, and we were looking at different options and nothing quite fit. And so we decided to wait until after he was done with college to start looking for our homestead and setting it up, because he was working full-time and he was going to school full-time. Yeah, there just wasn't a lot of extra time to do homesteading then anyway. So we decided to wait, and then he graduated, and we were looking at homesteads, and the opportunity came up to take over stewardship of the family farm that was in his family for the past. Our kids are the 7th generation to be here, so and that's especially neat because we. This is kind of coming full circle. Our daughter is the age that we were when we first met, and when we were first talking about having a homestead, we had joked about having a couple of goats and naming them Lawnmower and Weed Whacker because that's
a good goat name.
I started doing serious research into goats about 15 years ago, so this is something I've thought about for a long time and something that we've talked about since our oldest daughter was a toddler. When my son was born, he had developed an allergy to cow dairy, and so I really delved into the world of alternative dairy options, and so I developed a fondness for goat cheese and sheep cheese especially.
I developed
He doesn't like goat cheese.
Oh, and then soaps made with goat milk. Goat milk is really good for psoriasis.
Yes.
And people with, eczema.
Skin problems.
For soaps and for, different things. Now, I'm excited about those things, mind you. I'm not a huge fan of the goat milk, and goat
for
cheese.
Ingesting.
I'd like to try it, and I'll give it a chance, and we'll see what we can see.
Yeah. But not only for us, but we have had a number of other people who have said, hey, if you have goat milk, I would be interested in using it for soap. And they said, hey, if you have goat milk, we would be interested in setting something up. One of the other reasons that we have been looking into goats and have researched them, which is weed control, because here on the homestead we have so many weeds, and it is a literal full-time job.
They can eat it all.
To beat them back and try to reclaim the place from nature.
Yeah, they were like, oh, you gotta be careful because they'll eat all that stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's what I want them to do. Yeah,
they're like, oh no, they're gonna eat all the weed.
I don't want to have. If I never had to weed whack again, I'd be a happy person.
Weed management is a big time job here at the homestead. On the west side of the lane, it's very overgrown. There were just about 40 mature, enormous trees that were cut down. And in amongst those have grown up a lot of brushy volunteers, raspberry and whatnot. And so we've been going through and trying to reclaim that side of the lane. It's been such a lot of work and with very little payoff because it's an every year thing. We go in, we cut all the weeds back, we try to get as much of the wood out so that we can clear it and get it to available for mowing. But right around May, when the weeds start sprouting up, we can't get in there anymore. We can't get to the wood. It's just overgrown and we can't get in there. So that's where the goats will be really handy because we can set up an electric fence and we can put them in there and get the weeds down. And man, if the past couple of days have been any indication, that paddock that we have set up, it's a dry lot paddock, and they have, there were some weeds and grass and things like that in there, and they have already mowed most of it down like in a day's time. And that's amazing because he could be out there hours and hours weed whacking, or we can let the goats do it and he can work on other projects. So no.
Wait, what? Hold on.
There are so many maintenance projects here. And, like you can be over helping your mom. We could be working on things here. There are a lot of things that we could be doing if you didn't have to do all the weed whacking. So that's really helpful.
They need do a lot of weed whacking.
Goats are browsers and not grazers. We have a lot of browsing options here. If for those of you who are not familiar, the difference between browsers and grazers grazers, they eat the grass down, so they eat close to the ground, and browsers are eating about mid-level and up. Those are things like tall weeds, brush, low-hanging tree branches, things like that. And so we have a lot of that here, and so we are
lifetime supply.
Yeah, so we are able to harvest some of their food right here on site. It is feasible to make it a sustainable venture, and so that's exciting. Another thing that we're looking at with goats is that they can be trained as occupational animals. For instance, goats can be trained to be pack animals, so you can train them. They can be trained to pull carts, and that would be handy.
Nate, goats pulling carts?
Oh, yeah,
that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Why didn't you jump straight to that?
Well, yeah.
and
carts,
then
sleighs, that would be cool.
Well, and just about a month ago, she went over to she waltzed over to the area over here, and she was like, "Hey, we could put some goats here." And I look, and I'm like,
"Ew! Like, what is this place even?"
Yeah, there's no way there's goats. There's no way there's goats going right there. That's a bad idea. This is what I told her.
Yeah.
See, I clearly don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, we were scoping out different spots, and the part of the reason we chose the location is that it's pretty close to what the building that we call our Little Blue Barn. But we figured it would be handy to have access to the Little Blue Barn for a couple of reasons. One is that we do have a lot of inclement weather. That was part of the reason why we chose the location that we did, because we have a place to sequester them in inclement weather. And but it was a lot of work trying to get everything all cleared out, because there were whole trees. It was kind of a dump pile spot.
I think it was probably a burn barrel spot, and anything that didn't burn, they just threw on the ground next to it.
Yeah, they're like, wow, or buried it.
There
are a lot of places do
like
that
when I was
still.
trying to dig one of the holes, there was an old an old crock in there.
Yeah.
I was like, what is that?
Digger is like
Piece
hitting it
number
every
17
turn.
of the...
Yep, old broken bits of I'm trying to think of the most interesting thing. We found an old ancient looking lock, and some old that we found some flatware and an old doorknob, and strange, cool, eclectic stuff that we've discovered. It was kind of an archaeological dig for the kids for a while. And my grandpa also very generously provided a good portion of the fencing materials, the posts and the bracers, and the know-how that he passed on to my uncle, who came over and helped teach my husband how to put in fencing. So he's got a whole new skill set with fencing, and put that on his resume. So what all did you learn with the fencing project? Anything new and exciting?
Oh, making bracers and tamping down the posts and putting in bracers so that the fence will stay tight, using a fence stretcher, fence staples.
I've been doing a lot of research into various goat information on health and preventative health measures, and copper supplements and minerals, and what things to have on hand. And I thankfully have a lot of really great resources that I've made.
You are a really great resource.
Well, only because I know the really great resources. Rose over at Wholesome Roots, she is a terrific resource for goat information, and she said, hey, if you need to know anything, which I was like, hey, I will totally be calling in on that, because she did a whole presentation at the Homesteaders of America conference, and so I'm excited about having her and Jessica and Carissa, also really good, really savvy goat tenders.
Herders?
Goat herds. Actually, the word is goat herd. A goat herd. It's like
A
a
goat
shepherd,
herd.
but it's a goat herd. A goat herd. Let's see, other interesting tidbits about goats. One of the things that we've been talking about is what sort of a goat call we should come up with. That's been kind of fun discussion.
She doesn't like any of my suggestions. Can you guys believe that?
Caw-caw! It's not.
Yes.
I can't
My
do that.
favorite by far is caw-caw!
No, I can't do that. That
So,
would be bad.
so whenever it's time
I'll burst
for
out laughing.
treats for the goats, you just go
Caw-caw!
caw-caw!
Can you imagine? Oh my goodness. No, see, the reason that will not work is because if the goats get out and I'm all flustered and I have to, and I'm yelling, caw-caw, I will have to stop and laugh, and then it will be bad because I'll be rolling on the ground and I should be trying to chase down the goats and be like, caw-caw, where are you, goats? No, that would not work. You know, the kids are talking about 4-H projects. That'll be nice too. My son is particularly interested in having a goat to take to the fair. Oh, it was cute.
Little goat herd.
Yeah, I think that will be fun. So cool,
Goats!
cool animal critters and playing and kind of that tie-in with the agricultural community and things. Also, I've had a lot of energy and been able to do stuff. So, yep, all good things. Very exciting. And we're all excited about having our family over to come and see the goats because it's going to be fun. I can't wait. It's cool.
Goats.
Totes are goats. Oh, and turtles. Well, just the one. Just the one.
30 30 broiler chickens.
So, yeah, lots of fun happening. I'm sure that we will have lots of cute baby goat videos in the near future, and we will keep you apprised of all of our fun projects that we have in the store for the summer. Hey, I have been working on this project too. I have been working my bahookie off on this project too. So I even dug fence post holes.
Ooh.
That was right up in there. So it's been a lot of fun. All right. Well, this has been fun doing a video. We haven't done one in a while. And we're way out of practice. So we'll have to get back on that and get started up again. So we'll keep you posted. In the meantime, this is Daisy and Mr. Adventure signing off for now.
We're going to get this done in 10 minutes. We are going to just knock.
We have been here for 6 years now. What are you owling over there for?
I'm done.
This is why I can't focus. Okay.
Well, when I was 2, I saw a picture of a goat. And I loved the goat picture. And ever since then, I was, from the time I was 2 until the time I was 2 and a half.
I wasn't 2, I was in 2nd grade. Okay,
Knew there
great.
was a
And I did a
2.
report on New Zealand, and it ended up being on goats instead. So they should be pretty sustainable.
Sustainable.
Sustainable. As far as where we got the goats, my aunt and uncle have a herd of a flock, a herd.
A flirt?
A flirt. They have a flirt of goats.
A hawk herd?
my aunt and uncle have a herd flock of goats. It could be either.
Here, you ask Alexa and I'll take a nap.
A group of goats is called a herd, a flock, a tribe.
Well, that's not helpful. It's both of them. Oh wait, where's the last one?
Goats' collective nouns are tribe, trip, flock, tribe, trip, mob.
Trip.
Trip and herd.
A trip and herd.
I trip and herd.
They do kind of like trip, along.
And
They frolicky. So yes, they have a flock of goats, and so they very generously have gifted us these goats, which is just amazing.
Well, they was gonna give us 2 pregnant mommies.
Yeah, my aunt and uncle have a flock of goats, and so they
Cows.
have...
They have a flock of cows
they have
too.
a flock.
It's a flock, by the way. We just asked. It was a flock, and it's a herd, and it's a trip.
Goats are
and it's a
flocks
flock
and
or trip.
herds. Cows are just herds, and it's confusing. Like some of the terminology, it doubles up. So, flocks and herds can be used interchangeably for goats. Okay. Anyway,
We're taking a video with Pepper. That's Pepper. Who's sitting on top of a 5-foot pole.
There they are. Look,
there's half of them.
What's up?
There.
Goats.
Here, goats. Well,
Adventure
it's our
Acres
goats.
Goats.